on my Insta and I put it yesterday with
Yay.
Daniel in his stuff, so
Okay.
people could look
Sounds
at that.
good. Okay.
People just didn't think it's important. It's just before the holiday. I think don't nobody has like head for anything now,
Mhm.
at least not
Yeah,
me.
we're just trying to survive the shopping, the traveling, and the family. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get us going. So, welcome everybody. This is LA Web Professionals, where we cover all things creative and digital and web and marketing and social and all the good things, Adobe, and even lots of other things outside of it. Will be looking at in the not too distant future, talking more about AI and some of our new next generation things that we can cover in our digital space. So tonight we're actually going to deep dive into unexplored Illustrator features with our friend Chana Messer, who is she's actually co-founder, clear the air for me, of Adobe Illustrator user group here in Los Angeles.
Mhm.
She is an extraordinary illustrator, digital artist, um, teacher, professor, designer, and all around wonderful person. So just
Here.
to, I'm sorry, I'm going to blow you up a little bit. And just to give a little bit of her background, she has an extensive teaching career in fine art, digital imaging, spanning 3 decades, several prestigious institutions. She's teaching at USC Annenberg School for Communication and Journalism, USC School of Cinematic Arts, Fashion Institute Design and Merchandising, and UCLA. And she's also one of our favorite Adobe community experts. She's an Adobe education leader, Adobe Express ambassador, woohoo, and a subject matter expert for the Adobe-certified professional exams under Certiport. So if you've ever gone to take a professional certification through Certiport or Pearson, I guarantee you Hannah has had her hand in that process, which is awesome. So at this point, on behalf of myself, Anissa Barton Thompson, and Mr. Daniel Kramer, wherever he might be in your display, we are LA Web Professionals. You are LA Professionals, and we welcome you. So, Hannah, the show is yours.
Yay.
Yay.
I wanted to welcome everybody. It's so nice to see you guys here. And what I'm going to do is kind of like go into Illustrator and show you some topics and things that sometimes people don't really use. And I'm going to ask you right now, how many of you use Illustrator? And I know, Danielle, you don't have to raise your hand, uh, but everybody likes, yeah, everybody's probably using Illustrator. Some might not even do something new this time, but it's things that I'm using and I kind of like to explore. And welcome, Yael. I see you over here. So nice to see you all the way from downtown LA, all the way up here. But the other thing that I wanted to do is because I know you always used to open these meetings with something with Express. So I'm just going to stay within the same tradition. And the first thing I might do is look into Express and look at one of the new features that I actually really like. And hopefully you guys like it as well. So I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to share that right now. And of course, you always see that. So first of all, what you see here is kind of like a little things about me over here. Let me move you guys to the other screen. And then I just created kind of like a PDF for you guys to see what I'm doing. So there's little things about me. You'll have the link for this in the chat so you can follow me on Behance. And yes, I had to take down the one that says follow me on Behance where I'm live streaming, but I'm not live streaming anymore as of Monday, and I'm going to find a new place to do that. But my videos are still there, and I'm going to show you where they are in a minute, and then different kind of things for social media over here. And then the things that we're going to look at today is Object Mosaic. And then why am I using it and how do I use it? And do you even know it is existing? Some people, yes, some people not. And then this is kind of like how I use Object Mosaic. So it's a little step by step for you guys to do it after. And then what do I do with Object Mosaic? And then we're going to jump a little bit to Gen Shape Fill and recolor artwork. And we might do it also in Object Mosaic. And then some things about brand mockup. But the first thing, and then let me know um, if you have question in between. I don't mind to answer the question while I'm doing it. And like Anissa said before, we're keeping it informal, friendly. We're kind of like sitting in a circle right now, hugging each other and talking about Illustrator. So all of us really like it and like to work with it. But the first thing, I'm going to jump into Adobe Express. And I don't know if you paid attention to it. They got a little facelift with the Adobe Express UI. Just 2 months after we finished to do the Adobe Express tests already. So it is a little bit hard now to do the test because the questions are based on the older UI, but that's another thing. But hopefully we are going to update also the express test probably the next few months. So it's going to be part of that. So what I have over here, I kind of started, I'm kind of like Julia Child. I cooked already some of the stuff, but I wanted to show you kind of one thing that I really like. And I'm going to go to this area here and I'm going to click on, and I did something very fast, not something like complicated, and something for the season over here. So I created something in Adobe Express, and I probably most of you know what it is and how to do that. I just went in and you can see I have 3 layers over here. Unfortunately, at the moment, you cannot turn on and off layers. So if you want to do that, you have to take away stuff or delete it, which is something that I'm really asking them all the time to do. But one of the new things that we have over here is if I click, I can also go back and rewrite, but you can see all the way up here at the top, you have research page, you have change theme, add animation, and then show merging, and then you have something new that says bold create new pages. Any of you used bold create before? And then, like Anissa says here in the chat, if you have extra screen handy, feel free to create something along with me and then create, and then maybe you can share the post that you have. So I did something super, super simple. What I did here, you can see I have just a little ornament for the holiday. And the image itself that I did, I actually created by generate image. So you can go and generate your image if you want. I did it on generative AI just because Firefly, it's within Adobe Express. But now I'm just going to click here and then I'm going to go to bulk create. And this is what I get. So you need to prepare something ahead of time for that because you can have to import a data. So what is bulk create? Let's say I was hired to do an Instagram post the next week, and then it is about the holiday. And we do have so many holidays together, the Festival of Light and Diwali and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and Christmas. And we want to kind of include everybody, at least with the message that we're giving. Or if you're doing something for marketing, and you have something that you want to advertise, maybe you have some quotes and different quotes for each area that you have. So yes, you can copy and paste and put it for each page, but you can use something that's called bulk create. Again, if you're using Excel or using InDesign, it is data merge, right? Or mail merge that you have there within InDesign. It's not for images, it's just for the quote itself. So I ended up preparing something already. And then because I'm not so good in Excel and I don't even have a normal copy of Excel, just the one online from school, I end up using numbers and then export it as an Excel file. And I want to show you the file that I have. So I'm just going to go back here, and then you can see this is the file that I have. It's an Excel file. And I wrote in my quote, season greeting, or I should have said greetings, but it's okay. Ignore my spelling mistakes. And I know Anissa is giggling right now. Celebrate the holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Festival of Light. And you can go up to 100 quotes or maybe 99. I don't know. So this is the Excel image that I have, I mean, data that I have. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to click on that and go right away to the image, the data that I have. And look at this. I have it here and I called it Happy Holiday CSV. This is the format that you have to do. So now I'm going to do next. And in the next that I have, I'm going to click here, place holder text. I just type that and then,
Chana, I need to interrupt.
yes.
Um, I've been trying for about 2 weeks to get tickets for this event and have not gotten any, and have not gotten any links, and I don't know if you got the donation, and Eventbrite seems to be broken.
Okay,
You're
Doug,
gonna
we'll
find about
take it
Doug,
30
offline.
emails to
Doug,
you
send me a
about this,
private message.
Yes, please.
and you're gonna find about 30 emails about this.
Here,
Okay.
Okay.
just send me a
I need
private
to know
message.
if you have my tickets, and if you have my donation.
Okay, Doug, take it to the chat because she's in the middle of her presentation right now. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to go in and connect the elements. And then I'm going to look over here, and this is the elements that I have. And then I'm just going to go back here, and it's under my quotes over here, because you can do different columns. And then I'm just going to do next. And look what happened. Ta-da! Look what happened right away. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 images that I have and pages that I have, and then I have the stuff over here, and I have my files over here. So everything I have here, and then I can go and create pages. So you can see over here, everything is going in, and everywhere that I have something, I'm just going to go in, and I don't know why I have, and then you can see now, I go to each page. So let's say I'm going to go, the page 1 stays as is, but I'm going to go to page 2. It says season greeting. It should be season greetings, right? And so I'm just going to go back here and then click here and then do S over here. And I already changed that. So what if I don't want it to be the same image like the other one before? So now I can go in and start changing the stuff. So basically for images, you're going to need to go individual image, but really if you double click over here, look what I have. I have the 6 images plus the original, and then I have all the quotes that I did. Season greetings, celebrate the holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Festival of Light. So I can go back here, let's say, and I'm going to go into Merry Christmas, and maybe I want to make it a little bit different. So I can go into, let's say, this ornament, and now I'm back inside working with an image within Adobe Express. So I can go in and remove an object, insert an object, or I can just go back here to my effects. And then let's say I decide that I wanted it to be, I don't like to have it blue, but I want it to be a little darker over here. Or I want to tint it a little bit. And look at that, I have it a little bit better over here. And then I'm going back to this area. I can go back to the background that I had here, and that's the image. And actually, I did something to this image before. You can see here, it says grayscale. But if I don't want it to be grayscale, this is actually the image that I did in generative AI. So you can see I have a Christmas tree, I have the snow, and I have Merry Christmas over here, which is the new quote that I have here. If I want to have something else, of course, I can add different kind of things to anything that I have. The whole idea is I'm not wanting to show you how to use Express because all of you know how to use it, but I really wanted to show you how to use create bulk create new pages. So you can have up to like 99 pages. I can show you some samples that I did before, but you really can do it for marketing because if your job is to start doing different kind of social media stuff, really you can do the bulk create and do different kind of quote. So I kind of want to think right now, and I'm going to stop sharing for 1 second. And I want to ask you, what do you think about it? Because it's really important. And then what do you think about it? And do you think we can change some stuff here? And then I can send it to the team because we're trying to make it better. It was actually a plugin before, and now it got into Adobe Express. Yes, Lisa.
What basically is the difference between using that feature and just like a regular duplication?
It's not. It's just faster. And then let's say you're getting for a client quotes on a spreadsheet already. So let's
Okay.
say you have to do 100, I mean, up to 99 quotes. They're sending you already there. Or what you need to do is create the main one and you don't start duplicating. You upload the Excel file and then it just makes the pages for you.
Oh, okay,
So,
because the Excel,
Yeah.
you
right.
can, okay.
It's all
So if I
based
can
on
give
data.
you,
Yeah.
I can give you another example. So I work for a university and we issue digital badges, and I have a program that has 200 different courses, and each course needs a different badge. So I actually set up a template with the main badge, and then made a text field for the name of the badge and an icon, and then the rest of the graphic is the same for every one of those 200. I uploaded an Excel spreadsheet that has the names of all the programs and the graphic location for each one of those individual courses. And then it automatically created all 200 badges that normally would have taken me all
Mhm.
day. And that was done in literally 2 minutes.
How
And
is it
there is,
saved so you can use it? How do you save it?
So when you have it in Express, you can tell Express to download
I'll do
all
it
at
in a
once.
minute.
Yeah,
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 so
she's
you
about
have to
to.
use it. But
Perfect,
the
perfect.
thing is, it's kind of like an InDesign. You have mail merge in InDesign. So if you have an Excel, you upload it and then you start sending, let's say you want to send a letter or to somebody in InDesign. Over here, I would love to see it also if you have variants with the images. Maybe it's coming because InDesign has variants also. This one doesn't have it yet, but maybe in the future we'll have that. Let me just go back and share my screen again. And I'm back over here. So I'm can go back here. Let's say I'm going into, let's say, Happy Hanukkah. So this is completely different right now. So I'm going to take away that. This is the part I don't like in Express because if I don't want to see it, I have to delete it or take it out to somewhere. And I don't like that because it's coming back. So I kind of really want to be able to have the tiny little visibility button that we have. I'm asking for it for like over a year. Hopefully they hear me. Yay, somewhere. And then they're going to do that. But let's say I'm just going to take it away over here. So I'm just going to go into Happy Hanukkah, select all. And we all know that Hanukkah, Festival of Light, basically could be maybe with something that going to be more blue. So I have colors and maybe I'm going to do it maybe like that. I can change the typeface. I can do everything over here right now. So now if I go back here, this is the image that I have, and then I can change the opacity and do something else, but maybe I don't want to have this image at all. I can go and replace the image. I can upload it for my device if I have another image. I can search a photo or do anything else that I have, or I can just decide that I'm going to take it away. And then while I'm having it here, I'm going to jump actually and then go and generate image. And maybe I'm going to do portraits. And then let's say I'm going to do something. So if anybody volunteers right now to give me some kind of a prompt, or I'm going to say, let's say Hanukkah, menorah, and dreidels. Hopefully, don't have spelling mistakes right now, but I'm just gonna go in. Oh, look at that. This is what I have right now. So I got this over here, or I'm getting that over here, and then I can go in and make it a little smaller and move it over here, and then get this one over here, and look at that. I have it here, but now I can go in and then bring my Happy Hanukkah all the way here. I can see now I don't see everything. So I'm going to do select all. And of course, I can go into the text over here and I'm going to go select all. I can change the typeface if I want. Maybe I'm going to change it right now to light so I can see that. So look at this. I have that Happy Hanukkah right now. I can rewrite. I can go in, have some link options, and I have some more stuff over here that I can go and do over here. But now we're just going to see what Yael just asked. What can I do right now? So I can go back here and download, and then I can download the selected page or all pages right now. And then I can download it as a JPEG, PNG, PDF, a PDF best for printing. So now I can add crop marks or bleeds. I don't want to. And I can also do it as individual PDFs if I want to. I'm just going to go in and just download it and see if it's not taking a long time. And now I downloaded it so everything I can do here, I can go in and work with the individual image or can just download it as a combined PDF or a JPEG or anything, and I can start sharing it with other people. So really what it does is what Anissa said too, if you have a campaign and then maybe the images are almost the same, but the quotes are really different. Now I'm just going to jump over here. I'm going to go into my downloads. And then let's see if I go and see my PDF. And then if I go back here, I have placeholder, but you can see over here, celebrating and Hanukkah and whatever it is I didn't do. I have a combined PDF right now over here just to play with. Does that make sense? Yael, that answers the question right now. And then it's really a time saver. And this is kind of like what I wanted to go and show you today. I think I did another one yesterday to play with just to show that like I played with this just for fun. And you can see I did one over here and I used the same quotes, but I tested it before. So you can see here the Hanukkah stuff. And actually in the Hanukkah stuff over here, I ended up going in and yay, bringing it as kind of like an animation over here. Not that it's a big kind of animation, but now I can do it as MP4.
Right.
So you can see that's kind of like a fun stuff that you can go and create here. So I highly recommend to start looking at it and see if you like it. And yeah.
I thought it was really cool too when you brought in a fresh image to turn into a generative graphic.
Yeah.
It sized it automatically to the size of the image placeholder that you did, but you can actually have it generate to whatever size you want, which is awesome.
Exactly. And then this one is actually on top of the other image that I have underneath it, right? So if I just go to this area here, and I'm just going to go into the opacity, and then let's say I'm just going to do it in a screen mode. So now you can see we are actually celebrating Christmas and Hanukkah together, and it says Festival of Light, and you get something more obscure and different and some fun. So you can start playing with the effect and with the adjustment and with the blending modes. Unfortunately, we also only have screen and multiply. Maybe again in the future, they're going to have more. I always say maybe they will, because I don't want to say it's not going to happen, because maybe while I'm talking, there's another update right now. So I'm staying there. Yep. Because while we were writing the test for actually Express, we said, okay, we're done. And I will say to them, no, we're not, There's a new one right now. The good news about the test is half of it is about digital marketing, which didn't change as much except the AI. So half of the test is marketing and half of the test is working within here. I see another question. Can someone catch? Okay. Oh, what you missed while we were just
Did I
playing
miss anything?
and we're just chatting about
Yeah.
streaming on Behance and all kind of stuff like that. So, and then I jumped right away to actually working in Express. Is that true? Yeah.
Yeah. So we're ready.
Okay, so where can I get the information that I've missed up to this moment?
We are recording it.
We're recording on YouTube, but everything that we were talking about other than Express, you came in right when she started Express. Other than that, we were just chatting. The group hadn't started yet. So that's why I was
Yeah,
saying you
'cause
didn't miss anything.
it took about an hour to connect with the Zoom meeting and in like 90 tries. And
Okay.
there are no links or tickets. And
Okay,
Okay.
we'll talk
We'll
about
talk
it.
about it after.
Okay. But
Okay.
the other thing before I start in Illustrator, I just want to show you this is the place. This is my Behance over here. Live stream is still there. I can go into my live stream and you can see over here, these are all my videos. I have a lot of videos because I was doing it over 4.5 years. And there's a lot of instructional videos over here. You're invited to go in and start playing with it. The stuff that they took away is go live now. And now I'm going to go back here and then you see it jumps out because there's no live stream directly here. They're probably going to take the button. But if you go to my live stream, you can still go in and see the videos. So nothing is, then they don't check out anything else. And the way I did it is I did it by subject that we were doing in our school, also by subject that people asked me. So you see here, you have different symbols, and I did Express, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and Fresco the last 4.5 years, and hopefully I will continue in the future. So if there's no other questions, let's go in and start working in Illustrator. So I'm just going to click, and this is Illustrator.
question.
Yes.
Yes, first of all, was there any discussion of problems with Adobe customer support? And second of all, how can I access these videos you just talked about?
You go, which videos? The one I
Well,
just showed you?
talked about a bunch of them. I don't know which video.
Okay,
Doug,
let's
I
talk
dropped them
about
in the chat. They're in the chat.
chat, and it is behance.net/Hana Art. It's
Okay.
Hanart.
One
And then
minute.
if you go to Hanart, that's nice, Hanart. And the videos is in Hanart.
Yeah.
And you can go in and watch the videos. So if we're first starting Illustrator, and I know none of you are actually beginners in Illustrator, and by the way, we don't have the Adobe Illustrator user group anymore because there's enough that we have two other groups and kind of like we merge it inside one group. So you guys are the group, and then we have the InDesign group. So you guys, the all Adobe group, and then we have the InDesign group. I always like to show when you start Illustrator, just go to the little gift all the way up there, and that's when you see what's new in Illustrator. Object on a path, enhance image trace, Project Neo, which I'm not doing anything with it right now at this moment today. Mockup, text to pattern, contextual taskbar, and animate your design. This is just in general, but I'm not going to jump into that. And then if you don't want to have your welcome screen, you can go into the tiny little icon all the way in the upper left. You can also go directly to your preferences and tell that you don't want to see the welcome screen all the time. So you can have just the screen itself. And I'm just going to minimize that because I'm working on my small computer today. Or I can go into my workspace, and then you can see I have different kind of workspace, and this is my essential classic. So if I don't create my own workspace, that's the one I go to because it has all the stuff that I want to use in Illustrator. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File and New, and I'm going to open kind of like a new folder over here. And then let's say I'm going to make it 6 by 6. Why? I have no idea. And I'm going to go in and make it, let's say, 6 artboards right now. I like to work with a lot of artboards because I drag and drop stuff to different artboards, and then I can do stuff with it a little bit later. And I'm just going to go in and going to call it Object Mosaic, and then click Create. And then I don't really like to work with my artboard like this, but this is me, so don't take me anywhere else with that. I always go back here and then I'm going to go to my artboard and I'm going to go to my artboard tool over here. And then I'm going to rearrange the artboards. I like to see them straight, but this is me. I don't know why I like them like that. So the first thing I'm going to do here, and I'm not naming it, usually I would name it, but because we are in the presentation thing, we have stuff to do. So I'm just going to stay maybe with one or two layers. And we all know that Illustrator is, the layers are for organization. So if I don't like working with layers, I can work with one layer and have groups inside, right? So now I'm going to go in and zoom in to the first artboard over here. Let's say go back here and I'm going to do file and place. So I'm going to do file place and I'm going to place an image. So I have my images in here and then I'm going to go in to an Adobe stock image that I have. And you see it says Adobe stock, and Adobe stock, whatever. Oh, I like this one. But I'm just going to go into this image. I'm going to go in. If I linked it, let me just do it again. I'm just going to do, oops, what did I do right now? I'm going to go back here and I'm going to do file and place. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to link it purposely. And then I'm just going to go back here and have it here. So this is a nice image from Adobe Stock that has a lot of colors and it's a lot of fun over here. And then if I'm going to go to my swatch panel, I have my generic default swatch panel. So I can use the swatches, but I don't like to use the default. So I'm going to go into select all unused. And I do it a lot in the beginning of a project. And then I'm going to delete that. And then you can see here that I have just black and white. And I have one group of black and I don't have the colors. And I might save it right now just in case because we don't want to crash. So I'm going to save it on my computer. I'm going to go to my desktop and I'm just going to save that as an Adobe Illustrator file. It's all good right now. So now I'm going to ask you a little question, right? What if I wanted a lot of these colors from this image to be in my swatch panel right now? What do you think? The eyedropper, right? Starting going to my eyedropper right now and clicking on these areas and going to my swatch panel and say new swatch, give it a name, decide if it's a global color or not a global color, even add it to my library if I want, and click OK. And you can see here it's in my Adobe Creative Cloud library that was open. I can start doing it if I wanted 2 or 3 colors. But what if I wanted more colors and I have no time? So what is the solution right now? I'm going to go in and zoom out and I'm going to duplicate it. So I'm going to hold down the Option or Alt key and I'm duplicating it. And by the way, this one all the way here, this is the new contextual panel that you have over here. So over here, you can do directly stuff from that. I'm going to hold down and then click here and do a duplication. So right away from here, I can go in and do an image trace, which is actually new. I mean, kind of like they changed it a little bit and it's a lot better right now. So if I'm going to go in and do kind of like image trace, I can click on the image trace over here. It tells me it's big and everything like this. It's okay. And then it starts kind of tracing it. It might take a while, and then it tells me now to do some gradient. I don't want to do that, but I'm going to go to my properties right now, and then in the image trace, it is a default. I'm just going to do it 16 colors. And the reason I'm doing it 16 colors because I don't want it to take a long time. I mean, you can do up to 85 or 100 colors, and it's all good over here. And you see, it takes a moment. It's like going and going because it's an high-res image. So now I traced it right now, and I have the images over here. And then I'm going to zoom out and then look at this right now. And I want to add, so in order for me to add the colors, I'm going to need to expand it. And once I'm expanding it, I can go back here to my swatches panel, and then I can say add selected colors. And all the colors that I did right now, they're all global colors, and they're there. And that's another way of working here, which you probably all know about it, and it's fun, but it takes a little time with it. So we're going to go and do another things over here. I'm going to go, oops, I don't want to do that. I forgot I'm in Illustrator for a minute. I'm just going to go back here, and then I'm just going to go and put that, and it is going to be inside a group right now. Just for fun, I have a new group that I want to work with. But now I want to go into another place that I call it the Unexplored feature that I really, really like. It's been there from who knows how long. It's called Object Mosaic. And at one point, I if I remember correctly, I think it was around CS3 or CS4, Adobe decided to take it away. And few of us that really liked it end up sending notes to Adobe and say, maybe people don't have to use it, but please don't take it away. Please leave it there because some of us like it. So they left it there. They didn't improve it, so there's some problem with it, but let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to go to this image that I didn't do anything to it, and I'm going to hold on the Option or Alt, and I'm going to duplicate. And I'm going here and I'm zooming into it, and it's all good. And now I'm going to go to Object, Menu Bar, and look at it. I'm looking for Object Mosaic, create Object Mosaic, and it's grayed out. So why is it grayed out? Because I linked it. If you remember, I linked it when I placed it, and a lot of time I would link something, and then if I want to do something else with it, I can go and replace some stuff. But for this case, you're not supposed to link it. So I'm going to go to my links panel, and I'm going to embed that. And now it is embedded. I'm going to leave the other one linked because it doesn't do anything bad for me right now. But now this image is embedded. I also know it is embedded because I don't have the X on top of it. So that's another way to look for it. Now I can go to Object and then create Object Mosaic. And this is what I get over here. This is the dialog box. Of course, first we'll talk about what do I don't like here? What am I missing here? Start with a P.
Preview.
Yep. I do not like things without a preview. I just don't like it. I already wrote to Adobe. They're already checking it with Creative Object Mosaic. Maybe in the future, add to it a preview. At the moment, it is the way it is. So we're going to play with it. So you have the current size of the image. That's the new size that we have here. How many tiles do you want to have? How do you have tile spacing? Do you want to have spacing between the tiles or not have spacing? Constrain the aspect ratio. And then you can go over here. You can go in and do it in color or in gray. And because I don't know how it is going to look, I can try it a few times, unfortunately. But I'm going to do it, okay, here. And look what I get over here. I get Object Mosaic right now, and I get kind of like squares from the image that I have right away. Do you see how fast he did it? Very fast over here. Now, when I'm going to go back here, I'm going to look at my layers panel. And then if I'm looking at my layers panel, this is the layer that I have over here. This is all the squares that I have over here. And then all the way down, I still have the image. So you can see over here, you do have the image all the way down. So it didn't take the image from me. So if I'm holding down the Option key over here, you can see that I still have the image. I'm going to go and lock the image. And then if I go back here, I can even go in and group it, but I don't want to kind of like do it right now, but that's what I have at the moment here. I still have the area that I have over here, and then I can go in and select the stuff, and I can also go back here and take away the stuff that I have here. So if I double click and start moving, look what you have here. You have the images over there. And then I don't know why I don't have another image here, but I have different kind of images all the way down here. And then if I go back to the bottom over here and just select the image over here, you can see here that just the image is actually, oh, the image is not actually selected over here because I do have it kind of like at the top of the area that I have. So now what I can do is I can select the stuff over here, and then I can go directly to my swatches panel, and then I can go in and selected colors. And that I get all the colors that I have in my image. Does that make sense? So it is a way to go in and extract some stuff from your image that you have, and then create some stuff with it. I'm going to go back here and let's make sure that I'm going back to my area over here. And then let's see. Okay, I'm going to go back here and turn off all the stuff that I have all the way up here. So I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to turn that off. And then I'm turning that off, and look what I have here. Still have the image all the way down, right? If I go back here, and I'm going to still have a few of them over here that left over. So you can see here. So I still have the image over here, and then I can go back here and double click on it, and you still see here, this is the image that I have, and then it is going to go in, and that's the one that I have over here. Does that make sense? I'm just going to go in and undo it for a minute and bring it over. So I have all the images over here, and then I'm going to go all the way down, and let me just go to the layers panel, to the panel options, and maybe show them a little bit bigger. So because a lot of time you can see here, and look at that. So I'm just going to go back here. I have these areas here. This is basically within the group over here. And then if I double click, I can see over here that I have the group of the stuff. And then all the way down, I have the image. So what can I do right now with it? I already went in and created the colors already. So we already know we're doing that to create the color. So I'm just going to go back here and select that. Hold down the Option key or Alt key and drag a copy. And I want to, oops, I just went in and release the option a little faster. And then I can see here that I have it. And now I'm going to go in and create something else with it. So the other way I'm doing it, I'm going to go now to Effects. And then I'm going to go into my, let's say, Distort and Transform. I'm going to go to Pucker and Bloat. And let's say I'm just going to do stuff like that. So now I have effects on top of my image. And then if I want to do something else with it, I can actually go all the way down and play with multiply. I can play with overlay. And then if I zoom into it right now, you can see that the image has some kind of effect on it. So I have the image and I have the effect as well. So I can do colors. I can also go to the squares and then kind of like do other stuff with it. Also, I can go in into the image itself. And then if I click over here, I can see that I have the image underneath it. I can actually do that. So that gives me the option also to have a lot of colorful squares instead of copy and pasting them. I have colorful stuff and then it's part of the appearance if I don't want to have the image below. But I'm going to go into the image and maybe I'm going to change the opacity of the image. And now you can see that I have a different kind of effect over here. Does that make sense? So I see somebody asking a question. I've been struggling to log more than an hour. Is there?
No, it's ours. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I thought you were struggling
I'll
with
let you know.
Okay. Okay, so that's another thing that you can do over here. And I have this effect over here. I can also go in just to the effect itself and just bring it over here. And I have just kind of like a square. Since it is this kind of like images over here, I can go to my appearance panel and then I can double click on it. So I can still go back here and change that. So look at this effect. Now I have an effect without the image underneath it. And then you can say, yes, if I wanted to have, let's say, I don't know how many squares I had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 100 squares I had probably around, I could have go in and create them and duplicating in a certain way, which you can do. But in this way, it did it for me actually really fast. And then I can go in and change the stuff that I have. Once I have that, I can also duplicate that over here. And that will bring me to another area, which you can go into your properties panel and go to your recolor panel. So if I go to my recolor, that's what I get by default. And then I can go in and see the colors that I have from before because I already have them over here. I can go back to my edit and start editing colors. But what if I don't have time for it right now? Now I can go in and go to generative recolor. And now I'm just going to go back here. And in generative recolor, I can have a prompt, but I can also have a color that they suggest for me to start working with it. And now I'm going to go in and see, do I want it to look like that? Do I want it to look with this color, with that color, or with that color? Can I go back here to this area over here and then go in and add? So if I'm going to go back here, and then I'm going to go into again to the recolor. I'm just going to go again, generative colors, and I'm just going to go in here. And I think I added it or maybe not. But if I go in and edit to it, I can go back here right away, go to the advanced options, and then go back here and say, I want the colors over here right now. And now I have the new colors with it. So I can have old colors, new colors, and everything that I have. So kind of, I started with object, just with trace. And now I'm just going to go back here and I end up with colors. So if I want to look at it right now, I'm going to go into my fun presentation mode, which I love. And I started from an image and I went in and traced it and I did Object Mosaic. And then I took the Object Mosaic and I added to it all kind of effects and the image is below. And this is just the effects that I have. And this is the effect with different colors. So for one place, you can see how fast I can do it and then kind of like go in and you can create a lot of fun stuff. So I think I have another example over here. If I go back here and open it over here, I'm going to go back here, Object Mosaic, I call it exercise. So I have the one with all the images and I even named it. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to click over here and click open. So now you'll see in a minute the same image that I have, and then I have it in different kind of stage. One is the regular one, the one is image traced, I have object mosaic, and I do have with effect, and I have with other effects, different kind of effects. If I'm looking to my, if I'm going to go to my swatches panel, I have all the colors that I use. Since it is global colors, I can start changing it in one shot without selecting anything that I have. And then can you disengage? What does it mean? You can not RGB, you can, I mean, that's global colors. And I don't understand the question.
Feel free
So
to
it looks like the
unmute.
colors are, I'm sorry, it looks like the colors are all swatch colors, and are they not RGB colors? This is the first question. The previous one is, does the object have to be in the file, or is it linked, like eternally linked, or can it be sort of separate from the object?
No, it's not supposed to be linked. The image is not linked at all. And the colors by default will be global colors, but you can change them to not global colors.
Thank you.
But the image itself, not supposed to be linked. If it's linked, it doesn't really work. And then also you can take anything from here. Let's say I'm just going to go back here. I have this image here. I'm going to double click, let's say, double click here. I'm going to copy it. And then I'm just going to go in and let's say I'm going to do another artboard. And I'm going to paste. Oh, no, I don't want to paste it. I'm going to also double click and then I'm pasting it. Why? Oops, that's not going to do it. I'm going to Command Z it. I'm going to double click because if you go into, I'm going to double click and then I'm going to go to Object and expand appearance.
Right.
Once I'm expanding my appearances, I have one by one over here, and let's say I'm going to copy two of them. I'm just doing it kind of like for fun, and then I'm just going to do another one, and then I don't want to isolate anymore, so I'm going to paste. And the reason I don't want to isolate anymore, because it stays within the same group if you still in isolation when you copy and paste. But if you get out of the isolation when you copy and paste, it's not there anymore. So now just going to go here, and I'm just going to go to another area over here. And this is actually a feature that started actually 2 years ago. They started it really with like, wow, that's going to be the end. I mean, this is going to be amazing. And kind of people forgot about it. So I just wanted to remind you, it's still there and we still can work with it and it's still cool. And then I'm just going to zoom out a little bit and then copy that. And then maybe go into another artboard. And I have another question. What did we do when we didn't have artboard in Illustrator? I don't remember, but that saves our life. So I'm just going to go in, and that's so amazing that we have artboard. I can play here with different colors. I can change that. I can change the opacity. I can change the lighten mode. So look at this. I'm getting a different color there. So I'm kind of like playing with all kind of stuff. And then I might actually group it. And now I'm just going to go into my ellipse tool, zooming out a little bit. I'm just trying to get used to the screen here. And I'm just going to go in and create some kind of a circle over here. And then I'm going to go to, let's say I'm making it, no, I'm just going to make it light. And then I'm going to go to view and I'm going to go to guide, and I'm going to make that into a guide. So you all know that every object in Illustrator can become a guide. It's all good. I like to lock my guides in my layers panel. So I'm just going to go back here, and then I'm going to move the guide to layer number 2.
I
And
didn't know that any object can be made into a guide. What are
yeah,
some of the other uses of that? That's amazing.
oh, for everything. Let's say you have to do an arrangement of product in a store and you have shelves. You make the shelves into guides and you're gonna start putting stuff in there. Every is Illustrator object can become a guide. Not just this, you can also tell it, well, I changed my mind and I'm going to go back here and release the guide. So it's not dead, it just stays there, right? And then I'm gonna go into this image over here, object, and I'm gonna move it to this layer. And I might just go in and turn off. No, I'm not gonna turn off. So now I have over here, I'm just gonna go to the guide. I'm going to select the guide. I like to lock the guide in the layers panel over here. And then let me just go back here to focus and tell it to focus with me. So now if I want to do a radial symmetry, you all know how it works. I can go and select that. I can go back here and let's say put it somewhere here. And then I'm going to go in, let's say, to my rotate tool and option click to the center. Maybe I'm going to tell it to be 36 degrees. Look at the preview. I'm going to do copy and then Command D or Control D to transform again. And I have a beautiful radial symmetry. And then every one of them, you can go in and change some stuff and change the color or whatever you want. So it's all good. I'm going to go back here, select that. I can group it. And then now I'm jumping over to my scale tool. And then I'm going to scale it, let's say 80 degrees, and then I'm going to go in and copy. And then while I'm having it here, I might go back here and I'm going to change it to a different color. And I can just do transform again and then change that into color, different color, and transform again. And I have a nice little radial symmetry. If I don't want to have my guide, I can tell the guide to go away. But basically, I'm good to go right now. And I have it here. And I can turn off the guide or unlock the guide and then release it. So now if I go into guide and release the guide, it's going to be the color that I had before. And again, it is going to be a radial symmetry. So I call it handmade radial symmetry because you can do so many things with it, right? You can go and select the whole thing. You can make it really small. It's Illustrator, small, big, small, big. And then now I'm just going to do it without a guide. And then I'm just going to do that and transform again. And I'm in the icon business or carpet business right now, right? So I can do whatever I want right now. And then I can double click and then click copy. And then I can go back here and change the color. And now you can see there's more colors. And then I'm going to click OK. And you know what I'm saying, right? Transform again and again. But now I'm going to jump into the other one that I have because some people don't like to work so hard. It is a little bit different, but it will gonna go and bring you a nice radial symmetry. I'm gonna go and open another layer, move these little guys over here, and then I'm going to go to Object, and I'm gonna go to the Repeat. And I have Radial Repeat, Grid, and Mirror Repeat. I'm just gonna copy it anyway, but I'm going to go to Object, and where is it? So repeat, and then I'm going to do radial repeat. And right away, I have this stuff over here. And then I can go back here, and you can see it is a little bit different, but I can have right away radial repeat and add some other stuff to it. And then again and again, start, let's say, go back here. I'm going to go in and click on that. And then I'm just going to go and bring this one here, change the colors to whatever I have. And then I'm just going to go back here and do object and go into repeat and another radial repeat over here. So you can see over here, I got kind of like radial symmetry, and until I'm telling it to expand, I still can change the stuff that I have. So that's another way of creating a fun looking radial symmetry without working so hard, but it's another way for you to just gonna go back here and work with that. Does that make sense? Any questions about that? So this is kind
So
of,
where the two objects initially, they were grouped? I don't remember if you grouped
I
them or
grouped
not.
it, but you don't
Yeah,
have to
okay.
group it if you don't want to do
So
it.
if you have two objects selected and you go object,
Yeah, repeat on anything.
repeat, it'll still
You
work.
can have more than one object. You can have it to be even a Photoshop images, whatever you want. There's no limitation over here, and you can do the repeat of the repeat of the repeat. And then I break the machine usually. That's what I do on a daily basis. I start working with it and do that. But now, what did I wanted to do? I wanted to look, oh, okay, so I can go back here. So there's more with it. I can go back here and then I can go to object and then I can go to repeat. You can also do a grid. So right away, it creates a little grid for you. And look what I have. How cool is that? And then if I want more for this side, I can go in and it is a grid. And then if I'm looking at it in my layers panel, it's really important to see what Illustrator is seeing. Do you see it here? It's kind of like one object together within the grid, and I can change it. Then if I go into object and expand it, now it is going to expand it. And now it is going to go back here and have one the stroke and one the image itself. And then if I go in, you can see the individual guys are in there. So I could have done the object repeat, could do the little grid manually, but at the moment I did it with the one that I have over here. Does that make sense? Can I go in even to this one? I'm getting excited right now. So you got to stop me if you don't. But if I go back here, what else can I do with it? Because we're an Illustrator. Can we do a brush? Yes.
I would think so.
Yeah.
It seems like it's pretty fast and proactive too, right?
I
It
can do a
renders really
brush.
quickly.
Yeah, I can go back here and I can say new brush. And then I'm going to do a scatter brush. Okay, I have to go in and expand it. Because, okay, not a problem. I'm going to go back here. And then I'm going to go back here. And then I'm going to do a scatter brush. And then maybe I have something else that I have to expand. So I can go back here and then expand it. I expand it until it will let me do a brush with it. So I'm going to have a new brush. And now I have a new brush. I can give it a name. I can just click OK without doing anything. And now I'm going to go in and use the brush. And this is a brush. Does that make sense? What other question do you want to ask about it? Can I
So
change?
back to the one that you were just doing with the grid.
Mhm.
I'm not sure I understand why it's not preferable to do that in the patterns and to be able to do it like with the stepped grids where like brick and various different settings for grids. I mean, I realize this is a quick and dirty additional cool thing you can do, but is there an advantage to not making a pattern out of it?
I don't know if there's an advantage, but it's another way of creating something pretty fast. So let's say if I'm just gonna have, let's say just a rectangle over here, and I just want to go in and have a bunch of rectangles over here. So I'm just gonna go back here to object, and then I'm going to go to repeat, and I'm going to do a grid, and I have it really over here as a grid right away. So it's just fast, and then I don't need to do like any patterns over here. So a lot of the stuff how can you use it from one way or another? It is really up to you. You're going to be the one, going to be the judge. Do I like this workflow or I like the other workflow? There's another workflow that nobody actually uses it at all, which is this one. I'm going to go and create just a rectangle. And I'm going to go do object and path. And then over here, I'm going to go in and split into grid. And now I do have a preview here. I can even add guides. I can have number of rows and number of columns. And then I'm going to click on and off. And then I can decide on a gather. I'm just making it up right now. And I'm clicking OK. And now look what I have. And then if I have guides over there, now this, each one of them, it's individual. So you can go back here, put stuff in there. So that's
So
another
can
way.
you skew that? Maybe the advantage is that when you have a pattern, it can't be skewed. Well, I guess it can be skewed, but
Yeah, yeah.
this grid that you just created, if you do some kind of a skewing, will the rectangles skew with it?
Yeah, because it's just, these guys are just rectangles. They're just rectangle, not even in a group. So whatever you want to do with them, you can put type in them, you can do whatever you want. It's just objects.
I mean, if it's like the side of a building and you want them to look like they're going up the
So
distance.
that's when you do perspective on the side of the building.
Okay.
And there is perspective in Illustrator that you can go in and work with it. And that will bring us to another way of working with it. And I'm going to do File and Open right now. And let me just go back here. And then I'm going to go into the mockup samples. And then I'm going to click over here. And then I have something like that over here. So I'm just going to go here. And then you can see all the way up. If I zoom in, I created a logo to a group of kids that playing baseball, and I created the logos for them, and they didn't know what to choose. And then in my symbols panel, I put a lot of the logos already in the symbols, and it's all there. And then I found a t-shirt online. I downloaded it. I don't even have copyright for it. I just changed the colors in Photoshop and say it's mine, whatever it is, right? Or not mine. And then you can see here on each one, I have the logo. I have the logo and I have logo over here. But there's other ways sometime that you can go back here and then you can go in and you want to create something like you said on a building or maybe somewhere else. So you can do perspective, but you can also go back here and you have something that says mockup. So I'm going to do different kind of stuff. These are the mockups for mine t-shirts. And then these guys over here, you can see I have the same thing with the hat. And then over here, just a regular mockup for just this little thing that I have here. So at the moment, if I'm going to select it over here, I can go into object and I have a mockup panels over here. And at the moment, they're going to go in and give you a preview of a mockup. They don't do it for a lot of stuff yet. They're doing it for an envelope. They're doing it for a shirt. They're doing it for maybe a bag. And then I'm just going to go and say preview the mockup. And look what happened over here. So what if I wanted to go in and do that? I can go back here to this girl and then bring it over here and look what I have. It shows the mockup and then this is the image that I have. And if I go in here, it's kind of pretending that it's really inside. Do you see that? It's going in. So it can be a wall or something else and it's going to go and being in there. If I double click right now, if I zoom into it, and then it is a symbol. So I'm going to go back here and I can edit the symbol. And then I can go back here and decide that I want the color to be a little bit different. And then I'm going to go and make it something like that. And then I'm just going to go in, double click on it. Look what happened. The symbol changed over here. And then it will change it everywhere that I used it before. So I can go back here and have that. And it's even changed it over here all the way to the top and over here. So can I go into a regular image over here? And then I'm going to go and select this one. Okay, I don't want it together, but I'm just going to go back here. And let's say I'm going to go in to the stuff here, and I'm going to select the two of them, and then I say create a mockup. And you'll see the difference between it. Instead of just staying in front, I can go and put it in different kind of places. It might take a moment over here because it's thinking.
Where
But
do you say it? Where do you click create a mockup?
in the mockup panel over here.
Can you show where?
Yeah. You have a mockup panel. Let's say I don't have it here. I'm going to go into window and I have mockup.
Okay. And
It's a
then
mockup panel. And then you see it's not a very good mockup here. Why not? Because my image was like a different kind of colors. So I might go back here and I'm going to edit the symbol. And then I'm just going to go back here. And then I might go in and select that. And I might make it, let's say, dark. And then I'm just going to go back here and look at this. So now, because it is kind of like still in the mockup, look at this. I can go back here and put it here. Do you see what's happening? It's pretending that it is 3D-ish. It's mock-up of the area. Of course, sometimes it's going to get out, but I can go and take it out and put it somewhere else, and it starts kind of like reading different kind of things. Does that make sense? So if you have, let's say, a bottle, and you have, instead of going in and doing a real 3D and putting stuff into it, this is just a mock-up to show the client right away. That's how it's going to look when you're going into production. They're still working on it, so it's not perfect. Until 2025, it was in a beta version. Now it went out of beta, but they're still working on it. So is it perfect? Absolutely not. But is it helping to do a mock-up? Absolutely. You can do different things. You can do tattoos and all kind of stuff on bodies and everything else. And then it's really, really working and creating the stuff. So I think I have another example over here. Let's say if I go in here and then mockup example. Okay, it's not. I don't think if I
So
have.
this wouldn't be into 2024 Illustrator yet.
No, it is in 2024 as a beta. It says in parentheses beta. In 2025, it went directly into it. And now it is inside Adobe Illustrator over here. So I can go back here, I can change the symbol, I can do everything else, and I can start doing some kind of a mock-up using it. Does that make sense? Yael, you have a question?
I do. Did it work for the hat as well? You just select the hat.
Yeah, it will work for the hat too. It's just like the hat that I have over here, and then I'm going to select that. I think I made the hat in one place, but I'm going to go back here, and then I'm going to say create a mockup. And it is a little slow, even though I have M1 or M2. I don't remember what I have. I think it's M2. I already need to buy another computer. And then you can see over here, and then I have that, and then you can see over here. See, it's reading in the hat.
So it knows that it's doing it onto a 3D object?
Yes.
Now, is this an object they provided and therefore it knew it was 3D?
No,
or
the hat is mine.
Yeah, so it just has that intelligence built in. Wow.
Yeah, the hat is mine. The one that they provide you is this preview here, and they're promising that they're gonna have different previews in the future, but you can just do your own. So I went in and cut a hat from the internet and a hat from the internet and whatever it is, and then he knows that it is over here, and then, oh, look at it, and then of course it's flying a little bit. But I can show the client and I said, I kind of want the hat to look like this. Does that make sense? That's cool. Yes, it is. The good news, it's working still now with it works with another Photoshop image. It doesn't work vector to vector yet, which I wanted to work vector to vector. So if I do a 3D image, you have to map the image inside.
It looks like it's sometimes a little bit crooked, and I don't know if that's because you're rotating it
Yeah,
or having trouble judging the angle. Like I saw
it
it
is what
about
it
three.
is. Depending on the object that you have, like I said before, you cannot do anything else yet. That's what you do right now because it's out of the oven right now.
I
Hopefully,
noticed that it was about 3 degrees off on the t-shirt.
yes, yeah, I'm telling you, it is what it is right now. You have an image and you're mocking it up, and it's not perfect. It is going to be the way you put it in there. There's no other properties to say go up to the right, go up to the left. It's not there yet.
I
Hopefully, it will be there in the future, and then we're gonna go in and work with it in the future. Is that kind of like, so I like that I have other images and other kind of like stuff. I'm playing with it. What I like also that it is you can put it, it becomes a symbol and you can change the symbol.
I
Does that
think
make sense?
your expectation of it working with vector
If I
might
love
be
it,
a
it's
tall
gonna work
order.
with vector, but it doesn't work with vector yet.
It may be a tall order because you may have to construct really 3D looking vector art with the shading and stuff for it to work. The
So
way
Hannah, it only works with symbols, not just regular objects, right? It has to be a symbol first?
It has to be a symbol.
Thank
Or
you.
you do a regular object and then create, I mean, it becomes a symbol right away.
how do you create it into a symbol?
It becomes a symbol right away while you're working with it. So I
So
like
any
working,
vector object is a symbol.
yeah,
You
Okay.
drag it onto the symbols palette, Doug, and then it's a symbol.
yeah. But now when you go back here, let's say I'm just gonna go in
That
to
symbols palette is in what was that? Windows or whatever that last one. I don't have Illustrator open. I think window on your screen.
Windows symbols. It's
Okay, yeah, that's what I was asking. Thank you.
Okay, so let's say I'm just gonna go back and do something like this. So this is the new 3D that you have right now, which I don't want to do anything with it right now. But if I go back here, because you can play with it. But if I'm gonna go into filter and I'm going to go back here and I'm going to go to effect and go to 3D classic, and then maybe I'm going to go to revolve. And then if I go back here, I click OK here. So now this is an effect. If I'm going to go back here, so that brings us, and then I'm just going to do that. Not sure it's going to work a little perfect for me now, but now I'm going to go in to my appearance panel. And then I'm going to double click over here, and then I'm going to say map art. So depending how many surfaces you have over there, you can map your art with the symbols that you have. Does that make sense? Is it perfect? Not really. And that's why, but let's say if I go, I don't even know what symbol it is, but then I can see over here. And then of course it came out a little crooked over here. And then I can go and then play with it. And then you can map any kind of vector 3D with another symbol that you have. So that's another thing. And now they have another 3D that has also other kind of surfaces, and you can also go in and bring the stuff there. I just don't want to do that. But I'm just going to go back here. And let's say I have just a symbol over here. And then let's say this ball over here. So you can see it's only in here. So that's where it's going to go. It really reading the areas that the machine is cutting out for you.
Mm.
So, but if you go to the new one, you can start moving it. So they start, and now they have something else, which I'm not going to do it today, but they have a beta called Project Neo that you can do 3D and then bring it directly into Illustrator and start working with it and doing some other stuff with it. So you can do different kind of things with it. So again, it's just depending what you do with the tools. The tools are there for you to tell them what to do with it. If it's not perfect for you, I highly recommend one thing. Don't fight with the software. There's so many fightings in this world. It is what it is. You move on, you do another one, you do another software. Don't, and then you can go and warp it and you can do other stuff. Yes, all kind of things to do depending on the stuff that you want to work with. So kind of like the last thing that I wanted to show you, it's probably you know already and you worked with it, but I'm just going to open that because everybody doing the Gen Fill exercises. And I'm going to go into the first one. And over here, I already did something with it. Like I told you, I'm like Julia Child. So this is what I have over here. And then I'm just going to go into my presentation and I'm going to go and look at that. So really what I did, I was drawing something with a curvature tool. I was drawing with the shape ellipse tool. I was drawing with the radial symmetry, just did some regular kind of drawings with it. But then I went to select whatever the drawing is, and then you can do something called generative fill. Is people like it? Some people really love it. Some people don't like it. I'm going to open it in a minute and we'll look at it. And then it's another one. This is the original. I don't even remember what I said to it, but look at it. I have tiny little birdies inside. And I have another one and I have tiny little birdies in there. So I'm going to go in and let's look at one of the stuff that I have. Not sure that some of them has still my stuff that I have over here. And then you can see generative fill over here, this one. And let's say I'm going to go back here and then see if I have it here. Let's say I'm going to go in to this one over here. And then depending which one I use something. Oh, this one. Okay, because the others I probably expanded it. So this one I didn't expand. So look what I have over here. I said skin color and small dots, hand-drawn watercolor gradient picture. I don't know, I'm not so good in prompts, but this is what I just did to this one. And I got this, and I got another kind of effect over here, and I got another kind of effect from it.
It's incredible. Absolutely love that.
And then if I wanted to do something else, I can go in and say, I want to go back here and I click done, but then I can go back here and say, well, I don't want to have that. I want to go in and do something else from it and change it. So I'm going to go in and move into this one. And what did I do over here? I'm going to select that and look what I have here. I said small flowers with yellow birds and cherries. Why did I say that? No idea. So I got this, I got that, and I got that over here. And each time you're going to click on it, you're going to see that. So you can copy. See, I copy this one and I can change that. So let's do something for this one together. Anybody volunteers to create a prompt for that? So you can go
Anna,
back.
Anna,
Yeah.
can you go back to how you even get there? I don't know what you
Oh, okay. How
get
can I get there to the area that I have? I drew something, right? I drew this one.
Yes, this I got, yeah.
So let's say, and how did I draw it? I just did cycles and I did transform again. I'm going to select that.
Mhm.
And now what I have over here in the properties panel, all the way down, you have something said shape fill. You see
Mm.
parentheses, it says beta, it's still on beta.
Mm.
And then you can see over here, gen shape beta over here. And then you can watch a video and start a tutorial, or you can just click on that. And now they wanted you to generate something. So what should we do? I'm going to say small flowers and green grass going, giving you suggestions over here.
Butterflies.
I was thinking you throw in artichoke in there somewhere.
Okay, I mean, I don't know how to spell it. So, an artichoke.
Arti
Arti
Choke.
Echoke. Okay, let's just gonna go back here and then, oops, it didn't generate it. Okay, shoot. Okay, I'm gonna generate. And we'll see what we're getting. Yay! I don't know, not all the time you're getting whatever you want.
While it's generating, we were in the comments in the chat, we were talking about those faces, and the one with the woman, it just had such a 80s retro
Yeah.
poster vibe. And
Mhm.
so just, I mean, that's an incredible way to be able to put together something very quickly like that.
No, because the way I look at AI, it's for me, it's for inspiration. I will take the bird that I had inside there and make something else from it and do something else with it and change the color to that. But it gives me, instead of looking at Adobe stock somewhere and kind of saying, what am I? But look at this. Here's your artichoke. Here's this one. And
Hmm.
here's this one. Woo, look at that.
Whoa, love it.
And
So
then,
Hannah, what I wanted to ask you was about the previous page with the faces.
yes,
There's one that has like Ben-Day dots or something, that the gradation with dots.
this
Right
one.
there, that one, yes.
Yeah.
I want to know what your prompt was for that, and I'd like you
Okay.
to zoom in on it.
Okay, my prompt is fun strokes, ink texture, metal retro dirty.
Can you
Whatever.
zoom in on it?
I
How
can't
did-
zoom into this one, but it says fun strokes, ink textures, metal retro dirty.
Thank
How
you.
did it know you wanted a portrait?
I drew the portrait.
Oh, okay.
The beginning is, this is what I had in the beginning.
Right, right,
It
right.
is. And then I just showed as a sample. And
Mm.
now let's say if I go back here, but then that's not the end of it. Look what else can you do to it. While you have it over here, look at this little guys here. You have view all settings. You also go back here, style reference, and you're
Mm.
gonna go back here and say shape, strength, and detail. So I can go in and do different kind of details
Mhm.
and then do different shape, and then I'm gonna go and generate, and it's gonna do something else for me. So there's other, also you can take something else as a reference and it will go into it. So I started what I'm doing now. I'll tell you the truth. Okay, now let's see what I'm getting. Whoa, look at this. Getting one like this, one like that, and one like this. But I'm gonna go in there one on top of each other. So this is over here. You can
I
separate them.
think I saw this a Star Trek ship in one of those.
Yeah, so yeah. So you can start playing with it, and then you can take it to whatever you want. You can expand it. You can start putting what I do on a lot of these ones, why they're not live. I think I put a few things one on top of each other and kind of like who knows what I did to them and play with them. But you can see that, and then I can go back here. So let's say I'm going to select that. Okay, no, I'm just gonna go in and select this one, and I'm going to go back here and say I want to go in here. Oh, that's the strength. I'm gonna go back here and I can go and bring a reference. So you can choose an asset that you want to go back here, and let's say this one is gonna be my reference. So now I'm gonna generate. Look where we're gonna get. Don't, I mean, if you start it, you forget about your work. I can see Ael smiling. I know what you're gonna do. You can sit there all day and say, well, let me do this and let me do that. And look what I got. Well, I have a reference inside his face over here, which is not really working great, but it is a reference. But if I go to it here, I can go into my opacity. I can also go to my blending mode. I can go also to my overlay mode. And then all of a sudden I'll get different things. And I can move it around and this is what I get. So
I
depending what,
really, I really like that reckless asymmetry.
yeah,
And
it does
this
a
is
lot of stuff.
definitely a trial and error.
Yeah, and then you can play
Don't
with,
count on getting what you want out of it. But
yeah, well, let's say I'm gonna go back here and I just don't want the reference now. And then they can say auto reference, and then they can just tell you, do you want this one? Or I want to replace the asset. And then maybe I want to go and do this one. And then I'm just going to go and also make an effect. So you can have other effect. Do you want to have geometrics? You want to have pixel art? And then you want to go and generate. So it's not done. You can do a lot of stuff there and then just kind of like start playing with the stuff. Does that make sense?
Can I just ask, I haven't played with generative fill or any of that yet. I think I'm the only person who hasn't. And is there a panel where you can, so for example, you can save effects in an effect panel, you can reuse them. Can you save prompts in some kind of a prompt panel? Do they have a place
No,
for
they don't have a prompt panel. You copy and paste it and put it somewhere else you want.
that? Okay, thank you.
But it is
each
saved,
text.
saved in your file. So if you didn't do anything else, see, I didn't do it. And look at this. I didn't know what the prompt was here. But if I select it, it tells me small flowers with yellow birds and cherries. Because it's still there. And then I can go and cherries, and then I can say and blood oranges. And then maybe you'll do something else to it. But what I do, if I do something successful for everything, I start copy. I have like a prompt library. I'm copying and pasting it all the time on notes, on anything, or stickies. And that's what people doing most of the time. And look at this. I got a new one now. I got this one. Looks like a Passover plate. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go this one. I got this one. Look at this. It's all in there. And then you can,
Also work on iPad, on Illustrator.
I don't know if they brought it to the iPad yet.
Okay.
Illustrator on the iPad. I have to check it out.
I don't think the iPad is powerful enough yet.
But you can do other stuff with it. Any other questions, you guys? What do you think about Illustrator? Do we like it?
I've been using Illustrator for how long ago did it come out? 40 years?
Illustrator, 38 years.
Okay, so I've been using it 37 and a half years. The sort of random stuff that used to be analogous to what you're showing right now, I seem to recall being so clunky that I gave up on it. But this is looking almost disturbingly humanistic
Mm-hmm.
in what I was talking about, clunky asymmetry or whatever. It's starting to look like human mistakes instead of just dumb computer stuff.
Yeah, it looks
A little
good.
disturbing.
Yeah, it looks actually good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can start playing with the stuff that you have. And then what I suggest is don't just stop. Like, let's say I liked something over here. I'm going to make a brush from it. So this little birdie, I can go back here and isolate just the bird and then copy it and then unisolate it and then bring it somewhere else and paste it. And that if it doesn't have gradient in it or anything, that could be a symbol. A symbol can have everything, but that can be a brush.
I have an important question about all this.
Yeah.
Is it copyrightable?
Yeah.
It is, because
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about AI related stuff not being copyrightable,
No,
and
you
this
can
is
use that.
definitely AI.
Yeah, you can use that because it's coming from Adobe stock. And then you sign in. The first time you do it, it's going to ask you, you want to be aware that you're using it, and you say, okay. Does that make
But
sense?
you can create artwork using this, and you can copyright it, and the copyright is
He's
valid. You're
he's
sure of
flipping
that?
it around.
It's being generated by the Adobe AI.
Yeah, I don't know exactly the thing, but there's a lot of information on the Adobe site. I mean, how you copyright, how you use it for your images, how you using for your project, and look at the beautiful bird that I just made and how cute it is, and I can change it to different colors. Cool.
So
And then Anissa said we're almost ready for a raffle.
Right.
Then we're ready to go.
if
So
anybody, I would say if anybody uses this for publication or whatever, do your homework on whether there's going to be an issue before before you use it as published.
Right.
of course we will.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna
Hannah, you did an amazing job. Thank you. Can we give Hannah a big hand? Yay. Loved it, loved it, loved it. And by the way, let me see. And Laurel, I see that you are having issues. We found what the problem was. We did a little investigating. Our future events, we'll make sure that the event link is right out front and center so that you guys can get in right away. Thank you for addressing that, and thank you for your patience. By the way, Hannah, we have a guest watching us on our YouTube live stream. Everybody say hi, happy teach. Andrea Batzlatzen is watching, and she always does a great job of introducing and doing some cool stuff with Adobe Express as well.
This will all
And
be on YouTube, right?
this is all on YouTube. In fact, I'll
Awesome.
drop the link in the chat in just a second.
Thank
And
you.
we just want to make sure that everybody that put in for the raffle is here. Yes, everyone is present and accounted for. And tonight's winner, let me see, drum roll please, is, okay, can you guys see that? Gina Leslie, are you here? I believe she's here.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Gina. Congratulations. You
Thank
are
you.
tonight's winner. What we need you to do is to put your Adobe ID, your Adobe email address that you use to sign in to the chat to Daniel Kramer, to
Okay.
our web partner here, and he will make sure that you get your setup. So
Yes, sir.
congratulations, Gina.
Thank you.
Nissa,
Yes,
quick question. One, were we supposed to see that wheel that we see on most Zoom conferences for the raffle?
We normally do, but Daniel did it short because we only had a handful of
Okay.
participants tonight. So he already
and-
spun it.
And was your first comment about the trouble logging in and stuff, or was that about something different?
No, that was about the trouble you guys were having getting logged in. We found what the issue was and we have rectified it. So everything will be good on the next go rounds.
Okay, there do seem to
Okay,
be
thank
issues
you.
with event.
Right,
right.
Eventbrite, exactly. So I just want to say thank you again. For those of you who want to hang out for a couple more minutes and chat, you can, but everybody, we're saying good night to our live stream. I will put the link in the chat, and we hope to see you in the new year. We'll have more events coming up, January, February, and so on. And happy holidays. Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, happy whatever it is you celebrate. We hope that you are safe, happy, and you enjoy your family and your holiday time. Thanks everybody for joining us.